ShockCast 186. Some things have changed. Coming back after a long hiatus. And Brian, things aren't going well in the world.
They aren't.
No. Russia wants to nuke the Ukraine. There's Ebola outbreaks. The celebrities' phones are being hacked. The internet just lost its goddamn mind. And I figured it out, Ryan. You know what it is?
Why is that? Is it because Destiny's out next week?
That, but it's the universe. It's the internet as a collective clamoring for the return of the ShockCast. I thought you knew that. I woke up and I was like, we need to ShockCast. We will fix this world. We will fix every problem by bringing the ShockCast back. So
is that why Joan Rivers died today too? Was as a result of that as well?
And you know what? We planned on doing this yesterday. We didn't, and now she's dead, and that's on me, and I have to live with that. All right? So when I got up this morning, I drew the happy faces with the video game stuff, and I was like, Brian, we are fucking shotcasting today. So hi guys, this is ShockCast 186 with your new host, George Jimenez, staff writer at DualShockers, and I'm by my ever-loyal sidekick, Ryan Meitzler, also staff writer, video guide. Oh, I'm a cool person.
But I don't want to be the sidekick.
You may notice we are lacking... You're fine, don't worry about it. You will notice that we are lacking a Tony. Just, not the award, I meant the physical person Tony. You know, big head, usually wears a hat, really loud. No longer with us. He's over at Coalition doing his thing.
Always looks angry all the time.
Always looks angry all the time. Tony decided to do a full heel turn and become a villain and head over to the Coalition, which just sounds like a wrestling organization anyway. So, bad on you, Tony. You are a villain. I will meet you in a steel cage, and we will fight it out for the podcast host title belt. But yeah, Tony's gone. We're taking over. I'm the de facto host. It is a regime change. The chalkboard is ready. I'm ready. We're going to talk about video games. We're going to fix everything that is wrong in the world, Ryan. You and me. You're on a delay. It's totally cool. I don't mind. It's like we're talking via satellite. I figured the great return of the ShockCast wouldn't be a great return without really massive technical difficulties. But we're gonna truck on through. On through, Ryan.
We'll push through it. It's okay. So.
So how you been, Ryan? What you been doing for 3-4 weeks?
Good. Catching up on life. Playing video games. Playing more video games. It's been about it, I guess. It's been good, but.
No Destiny prep for you? Is there you're not waiting outside of you're not planning to wait outside of a GameStop just with
no
lawn chair, beer.
I don't have a PS4 or Xbox One yet, and I don't really plan on getting the 360 or PS3 version because I know that I would probably rather get it on the new console. So
you're gonna be outside looking in, just seeing everyone go through like the Destiny hysteria.
I'll be on the outside really jealous of everyone that's playing Destiny because it does look like a lot of fun. And I remember earlier this year I didn't really know a whole lot about it, but I've been kind of curious about it. And the more I've been hearing it, the more I've been kind of getting interested in it. So who knows? Maybe I'll end up getting the 360 or the PS3 version and feel silly for doing that. But I don't know.
I mean, Destiny's from when we played the beta and the alpha, super fun. It is the game that's going to bring people together as far as like a cooperative experience is concerned, where it's just, hey, just get a couple of beers and 3 or 4 of your friends and just shoot ugly aliens and have numbers come above their head, and then hey, let's get on the multiplayer and kill some other dudes, and then you kill some other dudes. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Production, more or less productivity. It's just going to cease next week. We're going to have a lot of Destiny coverage happening in the form of videos and just stupid articles and funny pictures and GIFs. And oh man, speaking of GIFs, I want to get on that Madden GIF-a-day so bad. They're just asking for trolling, which is great because that's what I want that to be a massive oversight on EA. But it's like, oh, let's do a little GIF generator, and it's just like it's only going to end bad, and I can't wait to just. To just really screw up their plan, so that's going to be fun. There was PAX last week.
There was not the East Coast variety though, the prime West Coast variety. So
not the Southern PAX, the one that's going to be in
next year, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I kind of want to go to that, but then I kind of don't because it falls in January, and that's just I can't like I don't want to go to I just overall don't want to go to Texas, but that's when since all the good games got pushed back till next year anyway, then a January PAX doesn't seem too bad considering like all the big titles might actually be there and like playable in some way, shape, or form. Like I still want to get my hands on like Bloodborne and see what the hell that's all about. And,
Yeah, I mean it does seem well. I mean like January seems like kind of a weird time of the year since like all the big releases, all the holiday releases have already come out, and generally I feel like before E3, not a lot of studios are really willing to like show a lot yet, until they get to E3. So
yeah.
which is why even at like PAX East, you really don't see a whole lot of like big stuff there. It's mostly just like stuff we either known about or the big news that comes out of it is like, oh, no DLC coming out or something like that. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what developers do as far as and also like even indie developers, how they justify that cost to go to a third PAX for this year to show off their game if they can even afford it. So which becomes the PAX that you skip. So I feel like next year you're going to see people maybe skipping PAX East or PAX South, but definitely going to PAX Prime.
Yeah.
Or PAX Australia. I totally forgot that they're doing one in Australia, which should be weird and interesting. But it's like it costs like $5,000 just to go there by yourself. So imagine trying to send a team down there with stuff and just the time zone, and you lose a day when you're traveling. It's like going into a vortex, coming out another time. It's not. I don't know. To me, I don't even think Australia is a real place to begin with. But that's a discussion for another podcast. But yeah, some other stuff happened. I guess some news that come out of there. Saints Row, Gat Out of Hell.
Yep.
It's happening.
It's happening.
The boss gets kidnapped by Satan, and Johnny Gat has to go and punch him in the face. You're back.
It is like every time they have a new Saints Row announcement, I do feel like they try and just one up the like batshit insanity that series. So I mean, I've never played any of the games, but I remember like when Saints Row 4 came out last year, I was kind of like, okay, I think because like the original titles were obviously just trying to be like GTA, so there wasn't really any appeal that I saw. But after like probably 3, I think was when they started just being like, fuck it, we're just gonna do our own thing, and like
that's when they found their identity, because it's like we're not going to compete on Grand Theft Auto as far as like realism is concerned, and like it seemed that the Grand Theft Auto games are shooting more for like realistic and more like immersive, big immersive worlds, blah blah blah, and Saints Row wanted to focus on, nah, dude, you just shoot everything, blow stuff up, live.
Well, like GTA, GTA, I think got a little bit more serious versus Saints Row, which kind of took all the parts that people like most, I think, about GTA, and then kind of just made a game around that, which is the freedom and just the being able to just do whatever the hell you want, pretty much.
Yeah, I can recommend if you're gonna play Saints Row, Ryan.
That too. So
the dubstep gun is so good. It is so good. And then there are these downloadable packs that have just different music, so you can do it. So you can do like a polka, and there's like a heavy metal dubstep gun, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've never gotten to Saints Row, definitely jump into 3. And then go into 4.
Yeah.
And that'll make you happy. But oh man, it's so good. I love it. And the create a character, you can give your guy a British accent, or a non-British accent. I don't know what else. It's like a slightly the Spanish accent in Saints Row is slightly racist. You sit there and like, that's not how I sound at all. Like, no. That happened. They're also remaking Saints Row 4. It's getting an HD update, and that's going to be available on Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah.
Which just tells me that Deep Silver is just like, we don't really have anything coming out for a while, so let's just re-release Saints Row 4 with some.
Yeah. Well, did they? I don't know. Did they say when that's coming out? The Saints Row 4 re-release.
I believe it was sometime early next year.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I mean, most of their games are going to be coming out next year, because they'll have Dead Island 2 next year. They'll have Homefront, the Revolution, coming out next year as well. So everything's going to be they're pretty good next year, but right now probably not so much. But
yeah, I'm kind of curious to see when that re-elected is. Because if it hits holiday season, that would be great. But I'm pretty sure it's coming out. Oh yeah, it's early next year. That's a shame. Yep, January 27th. Because I would play through Saints Row for like Thanksgiving break or like Christmas vacation and just kind of run through that all over. Because God damn it, I love Saints Row 4. It's really good.
Yeah.
There's a new 3DS or something. In Japan, it's got a little nub. It's got a C
Yeah,
stick, which just looks like
yeah, I can talk
it
about
looks like
this.
a
So, yeah.
reset button.
So Nintendo had a direct, I believe it was last Friday. They did a Nintendo Direct where they showed a couple. It was a Japanese Nintendo Direct with a couple of new announcements. So the big one, obviously, being that Nintendo has a new 3DS model coming out called the new Nintendo 3DS. So basically, style-wise, it doesn't look too much different from the current 3DS and the 3DS XL. I think it's a little bit bigger than both. There's going to be a new 3DS and a new 3DS XL. And then they're going to be a little bit bigger than each of those models, but not by much. It's still pretty much going to be the same size. But the big new additions they have are a second stick, which is like the C stick, which is this little nub that's going to be right above where the like face buttons are. So the
Yeah,
X
very
Y.
poor placement for. And I would have loved just a second joystick. Don't give
I
me
think
this little
I think
IBM
Yeah,
notepad
I
thing.
think on the XL on the like new XL it may not be as bad because because the system's bigger and it's easier to hold. But I think on the smaller one it might be the regular 3DS might be a problem just because I upgraded from a 3DS to an XL because it was just like the regular 3DS is really small and it kind of cramps your hand as you play for a while, so that might be a bit of an issue. And then the other thing besides the second stick is that they're also adding a faster CPU, and this is kind of the controversial part of the announcement because that means it'll be capable of playing games that the original 3DS is not capable of playing. The big one being they announced a 3DS port of Xenoblade Chronicles that's going to be coming to 3DS, but it's only for the new 3DS, not for the previous 3DS models.
Good God, that poor retail employee who has to explain what the new 3DS LL does as
That
comparison to, because at a glance they look like the same thing except for the
yeah,
extra button and the faster CPU. So I'm,
it is one of those things where I feel like it is just Nintendo not listening to what, because I mean that's really the thing that's been killing the Wii U is that people and that's what people have been criticizing it for most is everyone seeing it as, oh, it's like an add-on for the Wii. And versus the 3DS when you go in there and then you have the 2DS, the regular 3DS, the 3DS XL, and now you're going to have this new 3DS that basically is the same as the other ones but only plays certain games but not on these systems. And then you have the 2DS, which is like, well, it can play everything but it can't play it in 2D. It's getting so confusing having four models of the same system.
yeah, they're either gonna have to go like the iPad route where it's just as soon as this new model comes out, we're just discontinuing these other ones. So when you walk into the store and say, "Give me a 3DS," it's this one. It's not. Oh, but do you mean this other one that is a lower CPU or anything like that? I mean, it's gonna suck, especially in the after in the used game market where you're just like, what am I looking at? All these Game Boys are red. I just want a red one. How do I get a red one? And that seems like it's going to be kind of a nightmare for retail. But that seems to be that uphill battle that Nintendo seems to be fighting every time they make an announcement as far as hardware is concerned, where it's just like no one gets it, and you're kind of curious to see like what's going on in Japan there.
Yeah, I think because again, like this isn't something new. They've done this, they've done this before, like especially with the DS being the perfect example of that. I feel like, when they released the original DS, and then they did the DS Lite, and then the DSi, and then the DSi XL, and all that. But I think those were like, especially with the DS Lite, that was spaced far enough apart that I think it made sense because the DS Lite came out, I think, about like 3 or 4 years after the original Fat DS. Which or I might be wrong in that, but like I think it was a big enough change to the system that it was warranted. Versus this, I think where it's a big change in a different direction that obviously is making a lot of people mad. With like the whole faster processor and those sorts of things, like the sort of things I feel like you'd see in a new system, like an entirely new system, rather than just, oh, this is an update of our current model.
Oh, Nintendo, what are we gonna do with you? Like, I want them to do well, but they're doing everything possible to just make that really hard. Like, they're just making their lives very difficult. And like, finally, the 3DS is turning around and people are actually buying it and enjoying it. And I feel like now people have a reason to buy a Wii, but it's like here we are almost 3 years later, and people are like, oh, I think I'll consider getting a Wii. Like, yeah, the Nintendo.
Yeah.
I hear Nintendo now, and I used to think of Nintendo would just be really happy. Now I think of Nintendo just kind of groan all the time.
Hmm.
But Nintendo. Hey, there's no Destiny review copies coming until next week.
Womp womp.
What does that tell you?
I mean, I'd hope that the game is going to be good, and that it doesn't mean that the game sucks, which often happens. But I mean, I guess, but I mean, I guess I think it's just like they want to build up the hype for it.
Also, I think it's a
It's
multiplayer
like,
game, so like there's no single player, so it's not like,
yeah,
oh, I can
that's
play this
true.
for a week and then once the servers kick in over the weekend, I'll give that a shot. Since the game is so primarily multiplayer, I think they're waiting for just more, a bigger pool of players as opposed to just like the few thousand journalists who are going to get it. And then it's just,
Yeah,
oh, maybe matchmaking will take too longer. Or, my theories are all over the place. It's like, oh, maybe there's just a massive day one patch that they just can't really, they don't want you to look at the game at the state up until this day until you can download the day one
yeah, true.
patch.
I think also reviewing it, like if it were reviewed under the circumstances, if there only being like a handful of people, like a couple thousand journalists that are reviewing the game, it'd be
Mhm.
different than trying to review it when millions of people are trying to play this game. Like obviously the performance of the game is going to be very different.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a case of something where it's like, reviewers are gonna. It's going to allow reviewers to take their time with it a little bit more, rather than like the typical route, which is trying to cram it into like a couple days and then try
Yeah,
and crack
that
out a
that
review.
rush
So
that rush for embargo,
yeah,
where it's like, oh, our review's up first. We like it. I'm like, oh great, I'm so
yeah,
glad I waited for this.
yep,
Speaking of reviews, we also did a bunch while
yes.
we were gone. So let me run through a list. Warriors Orochi Ultimate by our own Christian Chiak. I like Chiak. Let's say it that way. He gave it an 8.5. Are you a Warriors fan? Are you a big fan of the Dynasty and the Samurais and the Gundams and the Hyrule Warriors? Is that your thing?
Other than the 20 minutes I played Hyrule Warriors at E3, I've never played any Warriors games before. I actually didn't know that that was a Dynasty Warriors game. I just assumed it was some other like series or whatever. But
A
I
really
don't.
dumb game.
I know nothing about the series. I've never played any of them, so I don't
Yeah,
really know.
yeah.
But
Warriors Orochi is more of a. It's in that Dynasty Warriors vein, but it's more like fantasy. So instead of fighting just a bunch of instead of fighting 10,000 yellow turbans rebels, you're fighting demons and huge kind of bosses. So Warriors Orochi is almost kind of like the inspiration for Hyrule Warriors, because Hyrule Warriors I know has like big mid bosses and and end level bosses that are there. So yeah, it's not a bad game. It's kind of have to know what you're getting into. You have to be okay with just hitting the X or square button a billion times for about 3 or 4 hours at a go. But yeah, Christian seems to like it, so check it out if you just want to kind of blow a weekend and just kind of
yeah,
Dynasty Warriors always been my guilty pleasure. Like I wait for the Empires games, so it's the Dynasty Warriors game with almost a Romance of the Three Kingdoms strategy thing built in, where you're trying to take over a map, and then each battle on the map is you're zoomed in killing a bunch of dudes. So it's still a Dynasty Warriors game, but there's that like just a light layer of like strategy there where you might have to think like, oh, I'm gonna attack these guys first. No, we'll go here.
mhm.
But Dynasty Warriors not bad. Also, Madden, football, man.
I haven't played a Madden title in a long time, but I have enjoyed them
Same here.
because I used to play them. I used to play them a lot with my cousins. Like back in like the PS2 era, which I think was like my favorite like era for those types of games. So
Yeah, same here. When I used to have more like people traffic into my bedroom, where it's just like, yeah, hey, I'm going to play some fucking video games. I'm like, fuck. I always had to have Madden and Street Fighter just to appease everyone's tastes here. But now that's not that situation anymore. I'm like, do I really want Madden? I'm like, not really. I mean, I have last year's Madden thanks to EA Access. I stupidly signed up for that for God knows what reason. And it's like, hey, you get Madden 14 for free. I'm like, oh, awesome. And I loaded up the main menu and I was like, I don't want to play any football. And then I left that. But
yeah,
Joel liked it. He says it's a great looking game. I'm trying to look for Joel's see what box quote we can use that EA can take from him. And I'm gonna go with, is it worth the upgrade? Yeah. Okay. Good box quote.
that's an endorsement right there.
That's an endorsement. Mine would just be, it's football. Okay. And Ryan, you reviewed Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 5, the finale of
I
Walking
did.
Dead.
I have been catching up with a lot of reviews. So to summarize my reviews, I did review the season finale of Walking Dead season 2. I actually before that I caught up with reviews for episode 3 and 4 as well, just because I had some technical difficulties with my review copy, but I finally got it fixed with Telltale.
Because you have a
I was able
fucking Mac. What are you playing games on a Mac for?
Because that's what I have, so you know. But I got that solved. So I reviewed the last 3 episodes, including the finale. Overall, I thought it was good. I don't know if I mean, I'm gonna go back and replay the whole season just to get kind of a feel for it. And I'm reviewing the whole season right now, like as a whole, which I did also for Wolf Among Us. I did like kind of a recap, like review of the whole season. I think season 2 was good. I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as season 1. Just because I felt like there were some kind of inconsistencies like through the season, especially with a lot of the character development, without going into spoilers or whatever. Just because there were a lot of times where I felt like, I mean, it's Walking Dead, so characters die. So if spoiler alert, characters die. But basically, it's like a lot of times when there were character deaths, they didn't really feel meaningful. They just kind of felt for shock value. Versus I felt like in season 1 where there was less of that, where even if a character died, it was in some kind of meaningful way or something to drive the story forward.
Right.
Versus in season 2 where it was kind of like, well, we spent all this time developing this character and giving them a story, and then we're just going to kill them and not do anything else with them. And just I felt there were some times where it was like that. But there were still a lot of really good moments. I liked it a lot. I'm definitely going to go back and replay it through again, just to make some new decisions and all that stuff. But
so you'd recommend it?
I would, yeah. I think it's really good. Overall, I'm still my review of my full review of season 2 is gonna be coming probably like early next week. So you'll see there. But yeah, it was really good. I think slightly not quite as good as season 1 as because season 1 was fantastic. But it's still really good.
Yeah, and then we also have Tales of Helia. Celia 2. Fabian liked it, so reader's review because I really couldn't tell you anything about that game, but it's one of them anime games. And speaking of one of them anime games, we also review Akiba's Trip 2, Undead and Undressed. Alyssa seemed to thought it was okay. You beat people up by taking off their clothes, and they're like energy vampires in Japan, so you have to beat up otaku. And I'm just kind of
because why not?
Because why the hell not? And I kind of want to play this game, but then I also kind of like not want to admit I want to play this game. Like if the game just happened to be around and like in my PS3 and turned itself on, and I just happened to have the controller in my hand and started playing, like that's fine. But I would never admit to actually. It's kind of like being a Dynasty Warriors fan. Like clearly people are buying this game, but not admitting that they're buying it.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe Akiba's Trip is part of that. Yeah. So. And then, we so many reviews, but Gods Will Be Watching, Alyssa did that review. That's a great goddamn game. It's a bad decision simulator. It's the worst. It's great.
I've heard it's good. It's what I've been curious to check out at some point. I've heard very difficult though. Like it is
it's super hard. There's a difficulty called the narrative mode where it just makes things so much easier. With like the missions only last like 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, that's great. But normally these are like half-hour to 45-minute. Like you're stressed out, you're sweating because you could just screw up at any given moment, and you have to start over.
Yeah, I was just saying I've been playing a game like that, but we'll talk about that later when we talk about what we're playing. But yeah, I think those games they're fun in a different way because they're stressful, but like you really get kind of invested in them. And that seems a lot like what Gods Will Be Watching kind of is. So, but I've heard good things about the game so far.
But yeah, definitely try it out. I remember I taught at PAX East. I spoke to the team. They're these guys from Spain, Destructo or something. Really cool guys, and they got a trip out of it. That game was such a cool thing to demo out in public because one of the they had a different scenario every day of PAX. So the one I sat through was the torture scene. And every day you have to survive 20 days of being tortured, and your interrogator asks you a bunch of questions, and you have to either figure out how much of the truth do I tell him, do I lie, do I provoke him, just to do anything possible just to prolong your
inevitable demise.
Yeah, your inevitable your job is to drag it out as soon as possible, but don't give him everything he wants. So one of these scenarios, he kind of randomly picks a weapon, and every weapon that he uses against you has its own kind of mechanic. So he took the pistol. So he's like, we're going to play some Russian roulette. And you're like, God fucking crap. So when you're playing Russian roulette, it doesn't matter what your response is, he's always going to pull the trigger. So that way you kind of have to figure out your gameplay method there where it's like, well, if he's always going to pull it, then I don't need to tell him the truth because I can just lie. Not a big deal. So he'll sit there and then he'll be like, well, we've got a 1 in 6 chance. Click. And then he'll try again and then click. And so the crowd gathering around was just like, oh my god! And the dev said like, oh no, it's like legit odds because when I did that level at home, literally the first click killed me, and I was just like, well, fuck you. I just survived 10 days, and now you shot me in the face for no reason. But yeah,
Nice.
super stressful. You guys are like, the art styles are really cool. Sims 4 is out. Yay?
Yay! I haven't played a Sims game in a long time, but
I,
yeah, it looks interesting. It seems like I mean, especially when they showed it at E3, it seemed like
Mhm.
there was a lot of cool stuff that was that was in the game. So
Yeah, there's like personality things. So it's like, yeah, man, if you're mad, you should probably go like work out because you have like a better workout when you're mad. And I'm like, I guess that's cool, but yeah, I'm one of those people. I keep buying Sims games, but I don't play them.
yeah,
Like every time they're on sale on Steam or something, I'm just like, oh, get everything. $50 gets me all the expense. Fuck yeah, do it. And then I never touch it. I get as far as making a character. I make this, and then I get him a house. I give him like $1 million, and then I buy all the crap I want, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do. Because it's like, oh, you should go make friends or give aspirations. I'm like, I don't even have any like real life aspirations. Like, I don't want to do this.
this is starting to sound like George's real life. Very it was like
just buy me the biggest fucking TV. And my guy's literally just sitting on the couch playing video games in his underwear. I'm like, this is so meta. This is kind of weird. But yeah, apparently that's a thing. And I guess the big news. Xbox One launched in Japan.
it did, yes.
It did. We could say that it launched. Could not tell you if anyone bought it because the photos that are coming out of the launch lineup, the midnight releases and the day one releases, doesn't look like anyone bought one. You see a couple of stragglers in some of those pictures, but I can't tell if it's just, people trolling. There where it's just like, well, I'm going to show up when the store's closed, obviously, and take a picture in front. Be like, no one lined up for this, so.
I mean, I'm not super surprised given that Microsoft's not had the best history with launching their consoles in Japan, like especially the Xbox 360. In particular when that launched, it just kind of landed with a thud. So.
Yeah, but people still bought them. Like,
Yeah.
This just seems like everyone's just like, oh yeah, that came out. Great.
Yeah.
Like someone had to buy them, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I mean, Microsoft, their main audience is going to be North America, pretty much. Maybe Europe too, but it's mostly going to be here. So.
Yeah, especially with all that TV talk and like, yeah, this will work with your cable. It's like, I think internationally there's more issues with cable companies just trying to get that situated. But
Yeah.
I think the losing of the Kinect was in preparation for launching in different markets, particularly in Japan, where people just have really small apartments where they don't have the space to get up and dance around and act all goofy and stuff. So. Yeah, there, but Microsoft said that they took a survey and said 84% positive feedback.
That's good.
From the other event. So that to me that tells me if you went to the event, you had a good time. I don't know what that translates as far as predicting the success of the system. But yeah, people they did a stream on this company called Niku Niku, just kind of had this rating system. It said people liked the show. They had like 250,000 views and. It was weird. Like some Japanese people came out in white gloves and unboxed it, and like this really creepy unboxing.
Yeah, I was gonna say Giuseppe, news editor Giuseppe wrote a lot of very entertaining articles about that. So.
Yeah, it was just weird, but also very Japanese. So I was like, I'm totally okay with that. I think for the Xbox to do well in Japan, it needs Monster Hunter, obviously, because apparently Monster Hunter is the secret sauce that could sell every console ever. So they will probably do that, and I think they need to work together with some Japanese. It needs some weird Japanese games to sell in Japan.
Yeah.
So like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, as cool as it looks, is not what Japan wants. They want Akiba's Trip and Tales of Xillia and that kind of nonsense. So I think unless Microsoft does that, they're I love that picture. It goes, hey, wait here for the line for the Xbox One, and there's no one there. And I feel like some of that is trolling. Like it's maybe after hours type pictures where it's like, oh, we're not quite open yet, or we just set this up. But
it's okay. I remember like when things like that happen here. Like I remember when they first launched Move for PlayStation 3, and they had those like midnight release parties. I saw all these pictures, and there was like one guy online waiting at like the midnight release.
Yeah, there's nothing sadder. Like, I used to work at a GameStop when we would do midnight releases, and it would be for like these really weird games.
Yeah.
And
like 2 people.
Yeah, there should be 1 or 2 guys coming in. I remember there was one Call of Duty where we didn't have that big of a turnout, so it was like, oh, you should get couches. We bought pizzas. We bought 10 pizzas, and only about 25 people showed up. So after they bought their game, they literally just hung out to eat all our pizza, and we just started giving pies out. And I think it was must have been World at War, I think, where we
Probably,
we had we had a couch set up, we had a TV set up. We even called in the local police because we every time we do a midnight, we let them know, and they'll just we'll do a drive by and we'll have a cop walk in, and so he's there. He's like, why the fuck am I even here? It's just, we're sorry here. We're like, sorry, here's a pizza. But yeah, good luck to Microsoft.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. And I decided I don't want to talk about any of the hashtag Gamersgate stuff because it's dumb, and none of the feminist frequency stuff because that just makes me mad at the internet, makes me want to quit internet things altogether.
It's understandable. So
yeah, so I think all I want to say is that stop being a jerk because people say bad things about a game you like. Just it's okay. You can still play that game. No one's gonna hurt you, and yeah. Be better at you need to be better at the internet, but I think we will. I think we're a young medium. Video games is only like 20, 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's growing pains. We're gonna get out of it because like you and me, we were probably dicks at 15 years old. So I think we're all growing up together.
I mean,
with this
speak
stuff,
for yourself, George. But
yeah, when I was 15, you weren't born, but whatever. But
hey, now.
But yeah, I think we'll get through this, and as long as the community, promotes positive feedback and just criticisms and just learning how to police themselves without threatening to set each other on fire, I think we'll be good. And yeah, just be better to each other. God damn it, you fucks. And last but not least, I don't know why this piece of news kind of stuck around in my head. Titanfall has a new mode that has no Titans.
So it just fall. It's not Titanfall.
Yeah, it's just fall. It's
fall.
Just not fall. They do add 2 more players on each side, so it's like an 8-on-8. And I guess some people were under the impression that this was like gonna replace all the modes. And it's like no, this is just another playlist. It's just a playlist. Like it's not.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe they're beating Call of Duty Advanced Warfare to the punch. And just, like getting that mode out there.
Too. We've got lasers. You like lasers? We can double jump too. Like,
yeah.
To me, this reminds me of when Halo did like the hardcore like SWAT modes, where it's like some people like to play without shields.
Well, I was
like,
gonna say,
people are jerks.
In Halo, like SWAT was my absolute favorite mode. So I can see like people.
You're a monster. I don't get it. To me, that's not Halo. I'm like, this is Counter-Strike. I don't want to play Counter-Strike.
Team SWAT is the best mode. Granted, none of my other friends wanted to play it. I was the only one that would want to play it.
Why?
So it was like
That's exactly why. Because I have friends that love Team SWAT. I'm like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Like, this is stupid.
I love SWAT. But anyway,
our guys have jetpacks. Why do you not want this?
Yeah.
No radar, man. No, it's super sneaky. I'm like, go fucking play Counter-Strike, dick. But it was there, so it's like if you wanted to play it, you can play it, but it doesn't. It's just another mode, guys. So can we just chill out? Capture Flag is coming back. Everyone just chill. All right. God damn it. So you got me all fired up, Brian. Halo SWAT scumbag.
Yeah, the Titanfall thing sounds cool. Like I'm sure, like I said, it's gonna be one of those things that's gonna have like a group of people that are really gonna be into that. Even though it's even though like when I heard about it, I was like, but then I feel like that kind of defeats the point of the game, like not to have the Titans in there. But I don't know, I guess some people find it cool, like just to have that kind of pure shooter experience.
Yeah. And some people are like that because I had gone matches where like I kind of forget to call my Titan.
Yeah.
And so until the very end, I'm like, I never called that guy down, and just kind of dependent on the map. So it's variety. It's the spice of life.
Yep.
It's okay, guys. No one would be mad at you. Ryan, what are you playing? What's going on? What's occupying your time?
Oh boy, I was gonna say it's been a lot since the last time we recorded. But yeah, basically I haven't been playing a lot of new stuff other than like reviewing Walking Dead season 2 and catching up on Wolf Among Us, doing those reviews. I've mostly just been catching up on backlog stuff right now, which has been good for me. I've been glad to just kind of like not have to play anything new and just kind of focus on like get the stuff out of my backlog.
Before the apocalypse happens next week.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Wait, what?
Well, the apocalypse that is Destiny comes out, and then that's
Oh,
when.
that's true. Yeah. Anyways, so the stuff I'm playing, most recently, I finished playing Dishonored. I finished that on 360, and that one
Lucky.
that's one that's been on my backlog for a while. So I'm glad that I finally finished that. I really liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun. I kind of wish I played it on PC, but I already had it on 360,
Hmm.
so I went with that. But it was still really fun.
It controls really well. So, but
Yeah, it was a great game. It was fun. And then
I need to get back to Dishonored. I keep saying I'm gonna play it, and I feel like I'm just pushing it down.
yeah,
I'm gonna take one weekend and just run through it just to say
that's
I did it, and I feel
that's
like I
pretty
owe the game
much.
that much.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's not very long. I think I finished it in about like 10 to 12 hours, so it's not super long. But it is a really good game for that. Just like if you have like a weekend where you're not doing anything, just kind of dedicate yourself to playing it, and it's worth it. It's a
Hmm.
really good game to get into. Then I've also been, so when we were talking about stressful games before, I've been playing Five Nights at Freddy's, trying to get through that.
We're supposed to play that
It's,
together, aren't we? We're supposed to play that together, aren't we?
at some point, yeah, we will.
Yeah. Christ.
But
I kind of don't want to play that.
it's a great, yeah. So just because like I've been watching, it's so for those that don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's is like it's a Steam Greenlight or a Greenlight game on Steam, and it's basically this sort of like survival. It's basically a survival horror game where you are a night's watchman at a like Chuck E. Cheese esque restaurant. And then what happens is in the middle of the night, the animatronics come and try and kill you during the night. So basically, if you played like Night Trap on 3DO, you have to like switch between cameras, and George is already not digging this. So, but you basically
Nope.
you have to
Nope.
switch. You have to switch between cameras and try and monitor them as they're coming through different parts of the restaurant before they come in and kill you. Which they do so by stuffing you into an animatronic suit, which sounds horrifying. So, but it's a really cool little game, especially because like it's probably one of the scariest games I played in a long time. And it does so really because it's a super simple game because it really doesn't have like it's basically just a bunch of still images and then like occasionally some stuff moves and animates, but it's really good just as a like a little it's only $5 too, so it's a great little game. And then after that, I've been playing Rogue Legacy on PC. I've been finally trying to jump back into that because
So good.
I played a little bit of it and I got my ass kicked a lot when I first started playing it. But I finally been trying to like push through it, and it's a fun game. It's really good. I think my favorite part of it is even though it does suck dying a lot, which you will in that game a lot. It's really funny getting the new like children and seeing like what their new attributes are, and like seeing the really like jokey ones that are in there. Like I had a gay mage as one of my children.
I like the color
Um,
blindness. That just kind of seems like a pain in the
yeah,
ass.
I had like the Farsighted guys a couple times, so like your character would be like blurry, and then everything else would be like in focus, or the
Yeah,
opposite for everything else.
I like the farting one. I like the giantism one where they're just huge, which is
Yeah,
super great.
yeah. I haven't tried the ones like the Vertigo one, which is the one that's like upside down, so he has to play like upside down
That
or
one's
whatever. But
awesome.
it's like I haven't tried those yet, but yeah, it's really fun. So that's pretty much been it. It's just right now just going through older stuff, but having fun doing it. So what about you, George?
I have been playing for the past 3 weeks. Firefall. That game is a real game now.
That
It's
game
not.
that came out actually.
Yeah, that game that came out actually. I and that was literally the first line of my review. Is just like, hey, I can't believe I'm actually playing the final version of Firefall. I feel like I've played this beta 3 years ago and seen it at numerous trade shows, and it's just like, hey, you want to try out Firefall? It's gonna be different now. It's cell shading now. I'm like, oh my god, this game and that booth with the dubstep, and it's just wow. So yeah, I've been playing that. Actually working on the review for that, kind of like this is what I think after 3 weeks. But I think the good thing about these type of games, especially MMOs and free-to-play MMOs, is they can always kind of change. Like my biggest issue has been that the combat does not feel that satisfying at all. Meaning like
Yeah.
I got a guy in a fucking cool giant battle frame with a minigun, and I'm just mowing dudes down that don't seem to care I'm shooting at them. So they just kind of charge up to you as they're being shot, and then they just die in front of you. So there's no reaction, and and especially the AI is really bad. So you just kind of get swarmed, and it's just I'll just hover up, shoot, throw a grenade, hover up, shoot, throw a grenade.
Yeah.
So it's that. So yeah, the combat falls a little bit on the boring side, and the quest system is not good. It's just here's a job board, go to this place, kill a bunch of monsters, or go to this place, kill a bunch of monsters, pick something up, and bring it back. So yeah, it was a little disappointing. Like I actually really like everything else about it. Like I think it's a gorgeous game. It's got really big vistas and just like it's a good like screenshot game. If you just want to take really dumb screenshots of just look at this beautiful waterfall, like that's really neat. I like the mounts and stuff. They gave me in my review kit. They gave me like $5 like currency to go buy stuff. So I got like the starter kit and then I got like a four-seater car. So I can just roll up and other players will be like, hey, I'm going to jump in. I'm like, all right, whatever. So just 4 dudes just driving around in a mount, and then we all jump out, kill stuff. I'll get back in my car and drive away. But yeah, the traversal is really neat in that game. But yeah, check out my review for that. I'm going to say probably sometime this week, maybe. I don't know, reviews. There's a lot of words in the reviews. I'm not a big fan. Also played some Nosgoth early access. Yeah, I played a version of Nosgoth is probably the best way to say. And that one's actually kind of fun. I think once you get past the fact that it's not a sequel to any of the Legacy of Kain games, it's just a game that takes place in the Legacy of Kain universe.
Yeah.
Once you get past that, I think you'll be okay, and it's actually an okay like kind of online action game, team-based classes, and it's kind of cool being like a Reaver or being like, oh look, it's a flying vampire. Kind of like Raziel and Soul Reaver. So you kind of start making the connections there, but pretty neat game, and I think as a free-to-play title, it's actually not bad. And then I'm also playing Risen 3 Titan Lords? Is that what the game's called? Yes, Titan Lords.
Something like that.
Yes, Titan Lords. You are a pirate in that game. You have a ship, and it's an RPG. It's weird. But
it's a video game?
My kind of weird, which I'm digging. It's a video game. You do buttons, and there's EXP. That's actually kind of a neat game. My review's going up for that probably sometime next week. Maybe this weekend. I don't know when I get around to it. That's actually not a bad game. If you want like a nice hardcore action RPG, that's probably a good recommendation for you. And its voice acting's terrible. The combat's a little what the fuck is happening, and it's a hard game. So it's one of those. You think it's like, oh, I'm at half health, I'll be fine. Like, oh, and then the checkpoint system's super fucked, so you kind of have no idea where you're saving. So it's just, and there's no F5 save, I noticed. So like using those type of games before I do anything, I'm just like F5 save. They don't have that. You have to like escape and quick save, which is kind of dumb. So, but yeah, I've been playing just really kind of long, stressful games for the last couple of weeks because I did Gods Will Be Watching, that bummed me out. I actually started playing Awesome Knots. It's a couple of years old, but they keep adding. Cool. There's a new expansion that just came out for it.
Yeah.
And I'm playing it with my brother, and it's a really good beginner MOBA because I'm like really terrible at MOBAs.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, and it's got a really cool intro. It's just like Awesome Knots, like a Saturday morning cartoon. And yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm gearing up for Destiny.
Yeah, I was just saying because like when you mentioned MOBAs and stuff like that, like I've always been interested in them, like the kind of the community that's around them and like the esports and everything like that. But I'm just so intimidated by like they're like MOBAs are just a very intimidating genre because they just are like you really have to dedicate yourself to them.
It is. And they're not new player friendly, which is different about Awesome Knots, where it's just very simple to play and. Once you kind of lose twice, you kind of get the hang of like, oh, okay, now I know how to play this class. In like League or Dota, the matches can go for like 45 minutes, 2 hours, and if you do bad, people will let you know, and then you're just kind of like, well, why the fuck am I going to keep playing this game? People keep yelling at me and telling me I suck. Like my own teammates. Like you used to worry about like, oh, my opponents are just telling me how much of an asshole I am. Now your teammates are just like, stop feeding them kills, play your class, you suck. And I was just like, I can't. I'm sorry. I want to play that DC one, that Final Crisis. That looks like it might be fun, but it still looks like a MOBA, and I'm just really terrible at MOBA. So I'm just like I can't play something for 45 minutes, lose, and then feel really terrible myself. Unlike like StarCraft, which I love playing, I can do a 45-minute hour match and still feel like I did something and feel like I just got he out-strategized me. Like curse him. Like I'm okay with that because I feel like that makes you a better player. MOBA's just so like. There's so many factors. It's like, oh, you have a bad teammate. You picked the wrong class. These guys cheat. Like, I don't know. Like, they're tough to get into. If you can play MOBA, God bless you, because they're all free. So I want to play a free game and enjoy myself that way. But yeah. Hearthstone. Oh, fucking Hearthstone. I love Hearthstone. I played it right before that. That cheers me right the fuck up.
Yep.
And I think Divinity Original Sin, that's a nice little hardcore CRPG that I've been digging. Not as much. I haven't played much of it since it came out, so but I'm still about like 12, 15 hours into it. Really good. If you just want to Neverwinter Nights or play like a Baldur's Gate type thing, that's the game for you. Like
Yeah.
that will bring back memories of just poor interfaces, and trying to blacksmith stuff is a pain in the ass because you have to give it to the guy who has the blacksmith still. So it's a lot of like item swapping and just like why couldn't it just be a button just to blacksmith everything? Some guy knows it, so it's fine, it's okay. It's like no, you gotta give it to the guy. He knows what he's doing. It's just fuck you. But yeah, so yeah, this whole month I've just been playing just insane video games, just video games that hate me, and like I feel like I start to hate them back, and it's just a very toxic relationship. But so yeah, but Destiny, man, can't wait. That's gonna be fun. And yeah, I think that's it. You know what? I think we're gonna call it, Ryan. We're gonna do a short one. So the idea with the new ShockCast is I'm gonna get more people in here. Fellow DualShockers, people from different outlets, just to get them chiming in on different topics. Maybe we'll see where we discuss visual aids that will happen. Maybe little videos going on as we talk about nonsense.
Maybe clones of George too. Maybe we'll get a couple of them in there too. So.
Oh my God, that'd be great. And more chalkboard stuff. Yeah, it's a new regime, man. I'm el presidente of this fucking ShockCast, and this will things are gonna happen well.
Things will happen.
Yeah, and I was joined by Mr. Ryan Meitzler. Thank you so much for this new journey.
If you see leaked nude photos of me, they're not mine. Just FYI. Just don't look at them. Don't see them. Don't share them. But enjoy them.
Yeah, if you see nude photos of me, they're probably mine. And just like and subscribe, man. Whatever. But yeah. Also, before I forget, check out this awesome shirt I got, Ryan. Look at that.
Look. My God.
Oh my God. Do you know where I got this shirt?
Where did you get this shirt? Oh, wait. Is it where I think you got it from?
Yeah, the DualShockers.com t-shirt site thing that's on our homepage right now. You can go there and get fantastic shirts like this, among other really cool gaming shirts. Or non-gaming shirts. Comic book stuff, there's movie stuff. I saw some weird Wolverine shit on there, all by various artists. And every time you buy a shirt from our DualShocker t-shirt thing that goes into T-Republic or whatever, yes, T-Republic, I think that's who they are. If you buy from them, you are helping us out. So buy the t-shirts. They're like $14 plus shipping. They're really cool if you want to impress your friends and be like, man, so-and-so is such a cool guy, but I can't figure out what makes him so cool. It's like, I know what it is. It's his Last of Us shirt. That's why he's cool. And you will be cool, too, if you buy t-shirts from our t-shirt shop. I really should have planned that out. I really was just like, I should talk about the shirts. And I'm like, I don't know anything about it. I just know that if you buy t-shirts, it helps us out. So if you're in the market for buying like really cool, if you're coming up to like Comic-Con or another cool gaming convention or anime expo and you want like something cool to wear where people be like, oh, that guy likes his stuff. Hey, that's an otaku right there. He knows his shit. Go to our DualShocker t-shirt store, buy something. It helps us out greatly. It keeps the lights on. It lets me. It supplies me with different colored chalk. Like today, I just used blue. I want to use red and yellow, but I can't afford them. With your money, I can. I will draw better pictures, maybe a dragon. It most likely will be a bunch of penises over my head because that's just how you people are. And do that. So buy stuff from the t-shirt thing. Check out our DualShockers actual website where we and dumb videos like this. And speaking of dumb videos, keep an eye out because I will be doing plenty of them in the following weeks. Maybe with Ryan, maybe not. I played PT. It scared the crap out of me, so maybe I'll play some Friday Nights at Freddy's or Five Nights at Freddy's and scare myself. Maybe I'll put a camera on here. Maybe I'll keep it dark and you'll hear me scream and it'll be interesting. And I've been talking way too long. You guys have a fantastic evening, day, whenever you decide to listen to this. There'll be an audio version of this so you can do your iTunes nonsense and listen to it while you're in class, driving in your car, being arrested by the police if they let you, just wherever you feel most, or work. I assume some of you might work, so you want to listen to this at work. Work is good. It lets you pay for things. It lets you be part of society so you can pay taxes. And I'm done. Just good night, Ryan.
Good night.
Bye guys.